Greetings, programs. This is Wretch, and welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade Out for Blood. And I'm really glad you guys enjoyed the first stream of the series. I know I certainly did. And a different vibe from the last time we did this with Night Road, and I'm really enjoying it. The concept of being immortal and kind of returning to the town that we kind of grew up in and seeing all the eeriness around it is a really nice touch. So we completed chapter 1 in the first stream, and now we move on to chapter 2, You Are Not Alone. Small towns have long memories and pass their horrors down ceremonially from generation to generation. Stephen King, Salem's Lot. You enter your grandfather's home for the first time in 5 years, almost tripping over a pair of yellow rubber galoshes by the door. Stepping over them, you flip the light switch on and off several times with no effect. You resort to turning on your phone's flashlight. So much space for a tiny shop, all of it sparse and cold and lifeless without its true owner. You run your hand along an empty shelf, once a display for costume jewelry. Pulling back, you leave fingerprints in the dust. You shuffle through the aisles and around the fixtures, finding them all poorly stocked. A loud fluttering startles you, and something swoops at your head. You duck low and fix your hands into a sign of warding. Creatures of supernatural origin? You'd know it. You doubt a bestial thing would be drawn to Jericho Heights. As it returns to perch on its wood beam, you see it's no more than a common bat. With your mind at ease, you circle the long counter. As a child, you spent countless days here with your grandpa. A sign hangs over the counter. Tuesdays, 12% off. You shake your head with a smile and pass under it. A rack by the back room holds an old coat, a leather bomber with an insignia of the 173rd Airborne Brigade Combat Team, wings carrying a sword. Smells like mothballs and pine. A tangled thread bears the weight of the past, memories in every square inch. You check behind an oil painting of astrological signs. Below it sits a note. To Grandpa, love, Morgan. I guess he never throws anything away, you say aloud. Pulling aside the painting, you find the fuse box and flip the breakers. Overhead lights pop on in a dim glow. Again, you hear the flapping wings, heading high and away, and you spot the furry form flying out of a broken window near the rafters. With the lights on, you see an unopened mail on a small bench behind the counter. First Bank of Jericho Heights, overdue. ComEd Electric, payment due. Nicor Gas, third notice. Kishwaukee Water Reclamation, overdue. Jonathan Banks, Esquire. All addressed to your grandfather. His first name was... Grandpire was clearly Batman. I like Oliver. I'm gonna go with Oliver. You pick up the last one, and you recognize that name. Your grandfather's estate attorney contacted you days after his death. As his primary heir, he left you the property, including the store and the house, along with the rest of his life insurance payout after taxes and funeral expenses. $4,000. Well, I'm not retiring anytime soon. The jingle of door chimes lifts your head, and in walks a tall figure with grayish black hair. It takes you a moment to recognize him. Mr. Bumpley! He strides across the store, wearing a broad smile and his signature handlebar mustache, the edges twirled tighter than you remember. It's Mayor Bumpley now, my dear boy. You may not have heard in your long absence from town. He strides over, and you expect a simple handshake. Instead, he offers a fist bump, his hands in white leather gloves. You lean on the counter, and a draft blows through the store with a low whistling. He's moving on up in the world, isn't he? We did see that he was a mayor when we got the that little achievement that we got some rep with him. Well, I mean, if this is the first time that we've, encountered him in a while, I figure it helps to be friendly. I really miss working at the bank. Glad to see you're doing well after all these years. Can't hurt to flatter the mayor, though that's not really my intention with the words. Conniving +7, matter of fact +6. A smile beams across the mayor's face. Yes, I'm doing quite well. These years have been good for business, and public service is how I give back. Taps his chin once and points at you. You're certainly missed at the bank. The best sweeper the Heights has ever known. Thanks. I'm sure we can reminisce about old times, but I came by to offer my deepest sympathies for the passing of your grandfather. What a loss to our town. Tragic. He paces in front of the counter, glancing around the store with a pensiveness, like a courtroom attorney before the defendant, preparing to cross-examine. Plan on being in the Heights for long? We'd love to have you back here, and do hope you'll stay for a while. Lee has always been Jericho Heights since 1955. I'd like to. Maybe I'll reopen the store. You think the town would welcome that? Inquisitive +5, relationship with Mayor Bumpley +7. Mayor Bumpley's eyes widen. Do I think the town would welcome that? Of course I do. They loved it before, and with you reopening this Jericho Heights landmark and bringing your je ne sais quoi, the people will be flocking here and emptying their wallets. As the mayor chuckles at his own remark, you're at a loss for a reply. He pans the room, his lips pursing. I expect you'll be repairing the store and taking care of maintenance. I'd hate for this to remain such an eyesore in our beautiful town. He smooths out his sweater and backs away from you. Well, it's getting late, and you're tired from your trip. I'll go now. He turns on his penny loafers, but stops, snaps his fingers, and turns back. Almost forgot. I'll be hosting a dinner party at my home tomorrow evening and want to extend an invitation. Please consider it. He draws a card from the pocket of his khakis and places it on the counter. Well, thank you for inviting me. He gives you a courteous wave and exits your shop. Alone in the shop again, you reach for your laptop, but a yawn interrupts you. It's been a long day, and you can't fight the fatigue. The shop will be here in the morning, and you can tackle your grandpa's business tomorrow. You leave your luggage near the counter, lock the front door, and zombie walk through the back of the store and into the attached home. You only make it to the living room couch before you pass out. The mayor wants to have us for dinner. That is nice. You walk through the old woods behind your home, right past the abandoned train tracks. Your vision, blurry and narrow, fades in and out, like you're being dunked underwater and yanked out again, over and over. You're sweating and your heart races. You try to look over your shoulder, but you can't see anyone coming from behind. Up ahead, a path opens between a thicket of bushes. The ground slopes upward, and at the top stands a figure, watching and waiting. Your heart rate slows, and a warmth engulfs your body like you're wrapped in your favorite wool blanket. As soon as you focus on the man, his form wavers and dissipates into smoke. Just as he fades, a hand reaches out of the cloud and beckons you forward, and you burst into a run. It rises, blotting out the sun. Everything goes white. As you progress through the story, you will receive experience points that may be used to raise your attributes, skills, and other traits. You may use your experience or save them for later. After choosing one or more stats to raise, you will confirm your choices before continuing with the story. To tell you the truth, I was looking at the character sheet before. Check this out. We have got a lowly 1 in strength and a 1 in dex, and a 1 in intelligence. Oh. So that is not pleasant by any stretch of the imagination. But we need 10 to raise any of these. So we'll need 30 experience points at all to raise our strength, dex, and intelligence. So I guess we will go ahead and save our remaining experience points to spend on later advancement, provided we survive it. Yep. You've not spent any of your current. Do you wish to save them? Yes. I will. Let's go ahead and save them. You wake up to gentle licks on your face. Hex's orange and white face stares down at you, her whiskers tickling your nose. She meows and stares at you again with green eyes. Hex was the name Grandpa gave her. It fits, so that's what I'll call her. Kitty. She purrs and stretches out her body with her front paws way out front. You reach up and pet her. Thanks for waking me up, old lady. Kind-hearted +3, relationship with Hex +9. We will max out our relationship with Hex. You stroke her back when she sinks into your body and purrs. You're not ornery at all. Your mind replays the odd relationship between Hex and your grandfather. He'd set out a can of tuna for her on his workbench and then chase her off if she stayed too long. He'd sit and pet her while binge-watching old episodes of Law & Order and shove her off if she took up too much of the couch. Damn ornery old cat, he'd yell as she bolted through the cat door he made her. She leaps to the floor and stretches her back by rolling around in the old rug by the television, or on the old rug. As you sit up, the room spins for a few seconds. You close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Light pressure coming from the base of your skull, but it fades. Images flash in your mind, bits of memory. The doorbell rang and you answered. An unwelcome guest at a threshold of your grandfather's home. And then it's all a blur. Even those images fade from view as you try to focus on them. It must have been a dream. And now that you're awake, you spend some time looking around your new home and reacquainting yourself with the nooks and crannies. Okay, Grandpa, see what you have hidden around here. Always a bit paranoid, your grandfather had hiding places where he stored his most prized possessions, whether they were worth something or not. You walk around the rooms on the first floor, living room, kitchen, office. While you search, memories of your grandfather superimpose themselves over the rooms as though he were a spirit, showing you where to find supplies to maintain the shop, products to restock the shelves, and even family heirlooms. You take mental note of everything. It's like he's here. After the tour, you end at the office. 3 tall filing cabinets occupy one whole wall. Opening one at random, you pull out a brown file folder along with a cloud of dust. Line after line of transactions take up each page with many bearing names you recognize, with amounts down to the penny. You slip the file back in its vertical coffin and smack the dust off of your hands. You sit down in the leather swivel chair in the office, a seat you were never allowed to take before. Looking over at his image by the door, he shakes his head at you and waves goodbye. Press the power button on Grandpa's iMac, a blue trapezoid that looks like the head of a robot. A full minute later, it starts up to a desktop as cluttered as the rest of the property. Emails saved as text files coat the screen, and though it would take too long to review now, a quick scan shows most are unfilled orders from weeks ago. After a few seconds of perusing, the screen blinks and a window pops up. Your grandfather appears, wearing his favorite fishing hat, and he's fumbling off screen as he comes into focus. Is this thing on? Alright, whatever. Morgan, I hope this is you watching. Anyway, if you're seeing this, I'm likely a ghost already. Don't worry, I'm not gonna haunt my own house. Maybe that stupid blowhard Marvin Bumpley's. Listen, I don't want to get all long-winded. I hate that your last image of me will be inside this box, but since we haven't talked in a while, I figured this is my last chance to set things right. He pauses and looks off camera, his face drawn, eyes drooping. When he looks back at the camera, he wipes his eyes with his hands. Tangled thread. It's old and run down, but it has a spirit that keeps it going. In the right hands, it'll flourish. Not these old hands, but yours. It's all yours now. Do me one favor. Stay a while. Give it 6 months. If you don't like it, sell it. Hell, burn it down for all I care. Just see if Jericho Heights is the place for you. Besides, there are reasons for you to be here. People you need to help. Things will come to light, and you'll know what I mean. Mostly, I believe you'll be happy here. Maybe without me nagging you to death, you'll enjoy it as much as I have. I love you, kiddo. I'm sorry it took this long to say it. The video ends, and you turn off the iMac. You lean back in the chair and spin in a circle, listening to it squeak. Having seen your grandpa's message, you feel... I would be puzzled more than anything else. Sarcastic +4, inquisitive +4. He mentioned something about a reason to be here, and things will come to light. Those messages were slipped in, but you caught them. They flew right by like bats out of a window. Even if you stay in Jericho Heights, how will you run a store by yourself? Grandpa rarely hired help, which was one reason the business was so stagnant. When Yelp reviews include phrases like, "My order shipped late" and "no customer service," maybe you need to shell out $10 an hour for an extra pair of hands. Your grandfather didn't fix issues, he made excuses for them. You have no clue how he stayed in business as long as he did. Then there's the issue of money. How much will it take to get the store back to where it needs to be? Full of both merchandise and customers. More to the point, if you're going to stay, you'll need a regular income to survive. Besides the store itself, there's a spare bedroom you could rent out, but do you really want to be a landlord on top of a store owner? From those bills you found, he certainly dug a hole for this place. And now he expects you to try and dig your way out? 6 months is a long time, and quite possibly with nothing to show for it when you're done. As you spin around and round in the leather chair, Hex creeps into the room and skulks along the perimeter. She moves to a corner and scratches at the wall. You stand to investigate. It looks like every other wall, the same dull yellow wallpaper, faded and peeling in places. You knock along the surface. It feels solid with each tap of your knuckles until you hit a slender area right above Hex in a foot-wide column to the ceiling. "Well, what do you know?" you say and slide your fingers along the baseboard. After some searching, you find a seam. Your fingertips move along the nearly invisible ridge and find a depression midway up the wall. Pressing it, the section pops in, and you slide it back along the wall like a pocket door. Inside is a hidden area, a rectangular room you never knew existed. Grandpa, you sneaky little devil, you. Stepping into the room, you stare wide-eyed at the contents. A huge assortment of occult paraphernalia. Carved fetishes sit on the top shelf of a bookcase. Below them, tomes on spiritualism, numerology, tarot card reading, and the like. A smaller shelf holds jars and cups and bags of powders, rocks, and dust of various colors and textures. A crystal ball with a base resembling a copper dragon perches on a pedestal. In the center of the room rests a clear pool of water held in a basin your grandfather likely used for scrying, observing people or places from afar. You look over the books and one piques your interest. It's a book on the practices of curses. As you flip through the pages, you notice several of them are loose and handwritten. Grandfather's writings? You read over them and they only reinforce what you know. Those who place curses do so at a risk of physical and mental strain. It's possible to lose one's humanity from placing curses too often, as you deal in the focus of negative energies. The writing ends, and you close the book and place it back in the pile. This room holds all you would need for your occult practices. You find a separate area where you marvel at a large assortment of beakers and burners, jars of chemicals, scales, funnels, microscopes, test tubes, everything you'd expect in a science lab. Running your hand along the bottles of reagents, you read the labels. Sulfuric acid, botulinum toxin, arsenic, and nightshade. Metals such as platinum, rhodium, and gold sit on a shelf over a workbench. Notebooks line a filing cabinet, documenting his experiments and the recipes for these powerful substances. Your grandfather collected all manners of poisons, tranquilizers, and paralytics, and the means to produce rare concoctions to harm or heal. Now, it's all yours, gifted to you by the secretive chemist who shares your last name. When you turn to leave, you notice a standing cabinet nearly flushed with the wall. Its surface blends with the wood paneling, so it's easy to miss. Opening the cabinet, you find weapons. A shotgun, a high-powered bolt-action rifle with a scope, a semi-automatic rifle, several handguns, and a weighted hatchet. Besides being a chemist, your grandfather collected an assortment of deadly gear. Why am I not a voice actor yet? I just never really got into it. Ponyta, welcome to the stream, by the way. Yeah, was Grandpa secretly Batman? Yeah, we should ask that. Sarcastic +6. For now, you leave the room and shut the door. You'll dive into this another day. Hey, it's OJ. Even if you remain in Jericho Heights and reopen the Tangled Thread, there's so much to do, it feels overwhelming. First, there's restocking shelves, checking inventory, reordering supplies. Grandpa's computer had weeks of unfilled orders, and at least a half dozen. Leaks, a broken window, wobbly shelves needing repairs, and you'll need to tell townspeople about the reopening. How can you do it all? Mark at the store. Okay, this is kind of like our stop point where we can call a contractor to repair the property. Call Salem's house phone. Check the store's inventory, check store emails. Okay, we're going to do... I don't know if we can do all the things, because it may be a... Well, let's check the store's inventory first. If you plan to open the Tangled Thread, you need enough products to sell. Empty shelves will give customers a poor first impression. You head into the storeroom to review the store's backstock. You're disappointed to discover that most of the core items, secondhand shirts, pants, dresses, scarves, hats, and shoes, are missing. Without the mainstays, you'll have few sales and lots of disgruntled shoppers. A ledger hangs on a wall with a detailed account of every inventory purchase for the last 30 years. Fewer entries exist for this year, but looking around, you're not surprised. You run a finger down the outer edge of the book marked with color-coded tabs. One marked Expenses draws your attention. You're no accountant, but it's clear your grandfather owed a lot of money to a lot of people. Bender Bros Limited, $12.55. Empire's Used Cars, $2.82. ComEd, $5.62. First Bank of Jericho, $29.41. Altogether, it's over $5,000. Not an insurmountable amount, though it's not great. Flipping through the ledger, you find the same four names recurring: June, May, April, and farther back. In the back of the ledger, an envelope is pinned to the cover. Inside, you find invoices and bills for ComEd and Empire's Used Cars. You read them and fumble through the printouts, startled at the tallies at the end. In bold red letters, Empire's Used Car, $16.92, ComEd, $44.96. But that's when it hits you. That ledger shows costs per month, not total owed. If your grandfather is behind on payments for over 6 months each, he likely owed tens of thousands of dollars. Would his debts carry to you? You close the ledger and take a deep breath. This is a puzzle to solve later. Okay, let's check the store emails. You walk into the store and open the store's emails through Outlook on your grandpa's computer. Over 500 emails sit in the inbox. Sifting through them, you trash dozens of ads and spam. You unsubscribe from several newsletters and mailing lists. After about 15 minutes of cleanup, you start looking through serious emails from customers and vendors. 12 orders are overdue. 3 orders came in today. Somehow, your grandpa figured out how to sell on Amazon but didn't finalize his shop's marketplace. He also joined a site called Sell Deal and has several requests for vintage wedding dresses. The site is up online but requires a login. Luckily, your grandpa stored it in the browser. When you access the site, you notice a private inbox with 20-something more orders as far back as 6 months. With the items in stock, you may be able to fill half of the online orders. Okay. Let's see here. What do we want to do? Market the store? We don't want to market the store until we have our house in order. You know what I mean? Call a contractor to repair the property? Salem did offer help. Yeah, you're right. In the living room sits an antique rotary phone your grandfather bought at a flea market in '03. Mrs. Pfeffercorn wanted $9.50, but Grandpa got her down to $6 after showing her the wires were frayed at the plug. He took it home and wrapped it in 25 cents worth of electrical tape. Since the utility bills haven't been paid, you're not sure if the house phone will work. You pick up the receiver anyway and hear a dial tone. Your grandfather always kept a list in his end table drawer of contacts around Jericho Heights. You quickly find the number for the Morelli residence. Dialing the phone, you barely hear one ring before someone answers. Hello? Hello, Mrs. Morelli? This is Morgan. Is Sarah there? Oh, Morgan, how are you, dear? We're all so sorry about your grandfather. Let us know if there's anything you need while you're in the Heights. Thank you, Mrs. Morelli. Grandpa was always fond of you and your family. Still processing everything, but I appreciate the offer. You're very welcome. Just remember, people in the Heights take care of one another. You may have left us for a time, but we still... Salem's voice shouts in the background. Mom, give me the phone. Oh my God, can I have a friend call without getting interrogated? You hear the phone shuffle. Honestly, Sarah, I'll treat you as an adult if you... Mrs. Morelli's voice trails off. Hey, I'm going to the basement with the phone, Salem says to you, and you hear her breathing race and heavy footsteps. Sorry about my mom. It's a constant struggle. I wish I could move out. Maybe Salem can move upstairs? Yeah. That would get us some money, wouldn't it? Move in here. There's tons of room. Just don't fall in love with me, okay? Sarcastic +5. Salem chuckles through the receiver. I'll really try, but can't guarantee I won't. Actually, if you're serious, I would consider taking you up on the offer. I am serious. I'm sure we could work it out to be mutually beneficial, like you could help out in the store or do graphics for the advertising. I'm liking the sound of this. Let's talk more about it next time we're hanging out, Salem says. So, what's going on with you? I'm surprised you called me so soon. You must really miss me. So what do we say to her here? What do you guys think? I'm thinking between these two. Basically saying, yeah, we miss you, kind of bury the hatchet, or just flat out say, hey, can you come help me over here? I'm in a bit of a situation. What do you think would be best? Yeah, might as well. I was hoping you could come over and help me set up the store. Idealistic +6. Well, definitely. I have to run errands with my mom today, and I'm going to a study group in the early afternoon, but I can stop by tomorrow. Perfect. I'll save all the hard stuff for then. You know, like cleaning the vents, lifting boulders, shoveling coal, stuff like that. Salem mimics an Aussie accent. Oi. Just remembered I'm going out of town today, moving to Australia. Australia? Well, that's far. Are you sure you can't come by before your international trip? She sucks air through her teeth. Sorry, I'm having a root canal tonight. I just got the confirmation email. The two of you share a laugh for a few moments until it softly fades away. I miss this. Talking to you. I don't have this with anyone else in the Heights, she says. I better get going. I have a bunch of errands to run and a dinner party tonight. You keep in touch, stranger. I'm only across the street. A dinner party? Wait, are you going to Mayor Bumpley's? Yeah, my mom won tickets at last year's summer festival. Can you believe the mayor auctions off spots at his dinner parties? How'd you know we were going? I'm invited too. I'll see you there. Awesome. I'll be the chick brooding by the balcony. Catch you later. You hang up the phone. The old door chime rings again, and you jet into the store, anxious to see who's coming in. Does the lack of people in the store and lights off mean anything to you? The door swings halfway inward and hangs there as two small wheels roll over the threshold. Footrests pop in, and then a man in a wheelchair enters. He has wavy dark brown hair combed to the side, a wholesome round face, and well-muscled arms in a button-down shirt. You know, your level of sarcasm rivals even that of Queen Salem. It hits you. That's Adam. Adam Bain. It's also not Adam, or a different version of him. When you saw him last, he was standing, running, wrestling, jumping. Now he's in a wheelchair. A million questions spring to life in your head, but for now, you simply stare. Adam's expression turned sheepish. Well, say something. If you scraped up that door with your wheelchair, I'm charging you. That door is definitely busted, Adam says. He smiles, and the two of you join together laughing. That's how it had always been with you and Adam. You took the serious role in the comedy routine. Sometimes you'd spend hours making up ludicrous stories, and Adam would pretend to believe them or play off of them. Parents would groan when you visited because they knew your two-person act would go on and on. I was going to call, I just got here last night. I know, Salem emailed me. He pushes his chair forward, letting the door swing past, and then opens his arms by his side. Get over here and give me a hug already. Just dive on in. You lean over and wrap your arms around his sides and the back of his wheelchair. It's an awkward embrace, but it still feels right. When you part, you stroll to the counter to sit next to him. Thanks. I hate when people stand and talk to me, he says and locks his wheelchair into place. No, I don't want to speak at your belly button. I'm sorry people do that to you. He looks away. Silence builds between the two of you, allowing you to move on to other things. So, what's been going on with you? Not much. Working at my father's business, getting my master's online, shooting myself accidentally. You know, normal stuff. Wow, I can't believe that. Your master's, huh? Crack a smile. Adam laughs hard. Oh shit, that's funny. Damn. Yeah, I'm done with my CPA and going for a master's in finance. I don't want to do accounting my whole life. Cool. Good luck with that. Now, can we talk about the accident? He smiles knowingly and nods. So we were at this late night camp out, me and a bunch of friends. Salem was there, as a matter of fact. We were all passing around a jug of moonshine, and I hit it a bit too hard. Walked out into the woods to pee, and I don't know, I thought I heard something out there with me. I happened to be carrying a gun at the time, this showpiece my uncle gave me. The uncle who owns that range in Long Grove? Yep, Uncle Harry. So, I heard this noise. You know that feeling when the hair on your arm stands up? I felt real fear, even through the buzz. I could barely swallow and my body was telling me to run. I pulled out my pistol, slipped on the wet grass, and the gun went off. I didn't know I was hit because I felt nothing. My legs wouldn't move, but I blamed it on the booze. I called for help and passed out. When I woke up, I was at the hospital. Shit. I can still hear the way my mother was crying. Anyway, a few surgeries and several months of rehab, and here I am. Stronger, sleeker, aerodynamic. Look, if you have questions or have things to say, I'm an open book. Wit and insight. Let's see, what's our wit? Wit. Yeah, that's 3. Charisma and persuasion. I don't think we have a lot of the charisma. Oh, we have, never mind. Well, we have 4. Let's see what happens. I'm really impressed with how well you're doing. Matter of fact, plus 10. Adam flashes an awkward smile. What do you mean? You're an inspiration, you say, suddenly feeling flush. You've been through a lot, but you're not letting it keep you down. Wow, Adam says, rolling his eyes. I didn't realize you were throwing me a pity party. I know what you mean, but you can cut that shit out. I'm the same fun-loving, accident-prone Adam you grew up with. You're right. Sorry. Adam runs a hand through his thick, dark brown hair. I'm not looking to impress or inspire. Just treat me like any other person. You know, treat me like an asshole. You know how most people treat each other. You smile at him and move on to another topic. So wit and insight isn't gonna do well. That's a 3. Well, I wish we kept in better touch over the past few years. I totally agree, Adam says, shifting in his chair. When you were here for the summers, we could hang out all the time. You'd leave, sure, but then we'd pick right back up where you came back the next summer. But when that last summer you spent in the Heights ended, we treated it like any other year. But you didn't come back. Does that mean we're picking right back up where we left off? He smiles. Hell yeah. Well, how are things here in the Heights, then? Not bad. Mostly the same old, same old. Same old, Adam says in his mock old man voice. Small town with all the pretense of a big city. I'm sure we have Starbucks, a trauma center, and a first-run dine-in restaurant. We connect to Wi-Fi on our iPhones to upload files to the cloud. We use emojis, take selfies, post them on our Snap. But in the same town, we drive down Main Street to just get about anywhere and see anyone. The barista at Starbucks knows us by name and gives us the usual. Unless you're behind a tractor, you don't worry about traffic. We still don't lock our doors at night. Damn, should be the town's director of tourism. Made me want to live here. I love the Heights. Always have. I never want to leave, but... His voice trails off and he hesitates. It's not all rainbows and sunshine. Even a town like the Heights has its ghost, but I'd never abandon it. Salem is so set on leaving, and that's her priority. I get mad when I hear it. Me? My grave's already picked out at Serenity Park. How's Salem doing? Do you two hang out at all? Me and Salem? We talk. Don't have a ton of time to hang out, he says. She works nights at the library while I work during the day. On the weekend, she hangs out at Morning Pulse, a newish coffee shop. They do poetry readings and all the creatives at the Heights hang out there. All the creatives, so all 6 people in town? Yeah, there are a few more than 6. Salem displays her oil paintings from time to time. She'll sell one. Her stuff's amazing. Adam raises his eyebrows. You still have a thing for her? One lonely night back in the summer between 8th and 9th grade while playing Rock Band in Adam's basement, you admitted to thinking Salem was cute. You shrug. I'm not sure what you want me to say, shaking off the question. By the way, how's she doing since, Adam looks up pensively. He always considers his words carefully when talking about sensitive matters. He always thought he'd make a good doctor since he has what could only be described as an excellent bedside manner. He could tell someone they have cancer and make them feel good about it. She's doing really well. I almost feel wrong to say it, but that fire was the best thing that ever happened to that family. Joe Morelli was an evil man. I hated what he did to her and her mother, but at least he got what he deserved. Ever since the fire, Salem's been great. She stopped doing that thing with her hair, and I don't know, she just seems relaxed overall and able to be herself. It's like she finally gets to have a childhood. I'm glad to hear it. So how about you? You seen anyone? Dating? Adam shakes his head. Nah, no one. I dated some people in the past, but nothing serious. I've tried dating apps, but town's small. Even if I go over to Aurora or Elgin, it's just hookups. It's seriously hard to find substance. Well, the hot dude like you, I'd expect a line of eligible people forming wherever you go. Actually, let's do this. I like this one. We should hang sometime and check out some bars or parties around. Adam shrugs. I guess, sure. Just text me sometime. Heights isn't known for its nightlife. I know of 2 bars open past midnight. It would just be great to spend time with you outside of this store. I have a feeling you're going to spend a lot of time here. He looks around the shop. It'll be fine. I can't work all the time. Adam glances at his watch. Hey, I should get going. My dad's expecting me back at work soon. I'm at the bank. He says and makes air quotes with his fingers. Let me text you my phone number. 2 of you spend a minute exchanging contact info, and then you walk ahead and hold the door open for him. Good to see you too. Stop over anytime. I'll text you later. Adam smiles and rolls outside, and you let the door swing closed behind him. Next you... Restock the shelves, strengthen athletics. Ugh. Or Mighty 3. Well, let's reorder supplies then. Well, if you're going to run a store, you need more inventory. Your grandfather didn't leave you with much, but you have a bit of savings you can use to rebuild the store's stock and hopefully make enough profit to get this place back on track. You find the contact information of a supplier from your grandfather's ledger and ring it up. The company is based out of nearby Kane County, but they pass this way all the time. Thankfully, your grandfather's kept up with payments to the supplier, and they're willing to drop off a shipment tomorrow of thrift goods. Considering your savings of $5,002, are you willing to invest... Ooh. I figure we have to invest money to make money. What do you guys think? Oh, that's right. We do have to fix the place up, though, don't we? Okay. $2,000 to add enough inventory to refill the store once. You're willing to take a gamble on your grandfather's store, but you know there are other bills to pay. You pick out a number of top-selling items to keep in stock. You place the order and receive a commitment for the items to be delivered tomorrow afternoon. Experience points +1. Alright, let's call the contractor. Once again, you return to the rotary phone and a list of contacts your grandfather kept. Scanning the handwritten page, you spot a line for Virginia Barlow, contractor. You have a vague memory of Mrs. Barlow from the summers spent here. Your grandpa would hire her at least once a month, though it would end with them feuding and her leaving in anger, always shouting the same line. "Oliver Lee, you're just a warthog's ass." Whenever she saw you, she'd mess up your hair by petting your head and then give you a lollipop. You never knew where she bought them, but they were the best. You dial and hope it's the right number after all these years. A message clicks on. "This is Barlow General Contractors. I'm out on a job. Call earlier next time. Leave a message after the beep." You recognize the high-pitched, gruff voice as Ginny Barlow's. After the tone, you hear an announcement that the mailbox is full. You hang up and consider other tasks on the list. Well, I guess we could market the store now that we'll have stuff. In science and technology, that's kind of our speciality. As far as the town knows, the Tangled Thread closed for good once your grandfather passed on. Not like the store gets good foot traffic. You don't have the cash to buy ads with the Jericho Heights Ledger, so you go the cheaper route and post on social media. Your grandfather never set up any socials, so you create accounts for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. With those set up, you post a few announcements on pages focused on current events in Jericho Heights. Now that you've established a social media presence, you hang a sign over the front door announcing the grand opening on Sunday. After thinking about all the marketing efforts you could make for the store, you remember your friend Sherry from back in Chicago. You haven't talked to her in a while, but saw something a few days ago on one of those annoying update emails from LinkedIn about Sherry's new job. You bring up your phone and search through the newsfeed. Congratulate Sherry Tompkins on her new job as digital marketing specialist. Wondering if she can help to raise the profile of your store, you send her a quick text message, and she answers immediately. "Hey there, absolutely. I'll be in meetings all day, but will stay late and get to work. Create an admin account on your website so I can start making changes. Once we optimize your SEO, you'll see traffic. I can also ask our digital growth group to look over your social media and make some suggestions to raise your visibility. DTYL." Well, you're relieved that she's helping you, and just as relieved that her life is back on track. While in college, she got sucked into a horrible relationship with an abusive partner. It took months to convince her that she could do better and that she didn't deserve the physical and mental torture. After a broken arm landed her in the ER on Thanksgiving Eve in your junior year, you were finally able to convince her to seek help and end that relationship. Experience points +1. The store door chimes once more, and you hurry to see who's coming in now. A teenage girl pushes the door wide and walks a beat-up dirt bike into the entryway. Hi there. We aren't open quite yet. If you want to come back on Sunday..." "I know the store's not open. I can read signs." She has light brown skin and dark hair fashioned into braids, which hang lower than her shoulders. Though it's warm outside, she's wearing long blue jeans and work boots with a t-shirt displaying a huge Gothic cross. She hauls a purple backpack, covered in cats and rainbows, off her shoulder and rests it on the floor. "And what are you doing here?" she asks in a hurried tone. "I'm getting the store ready to open in a few days. What are you doing here?" Truthfulness +8, Inquisitive +6. "I'm here to talk to you," she says, stepping off the bike. She lays it down, half on the large welcome mat. My name is Michaela Clark." "I'm Morgan. I'm really busy, though. Is there something I can do for you?" She makes a circle around the store from the front door to the counter, to the first set of shelves, and to the door again, scanning the empty shelves. "You must know Mr. Lee, who used to own this store. He was nice. He used to let me sit in here and do my homework or just hang out. When I was a kid, we watched old Western movies or these guys called the Three Stooges. Did you buy this place?" I didn't exactly buy it. I inherited it. Wait, inherited it? So wait, he was your grandfather? Wow, I guess I see it, she says, and her look turns to sadness. In that moment, it's like a different person standing there. An adult woman with an even older soul. I miss him. He was one of my friends and the smartest person I ever knew. Relationship with Michaela +9. Yeah, I really miss him. He was the best. Hey, so what do you know about Bleak Rest House? That's a strange question. Everyone in town knows the history of the place. No, I mean now. Would you know about the people who live there? She stresses the word people. Not much at all. I saw that it's been renovated, but other than that, I don't know anything about it. The lady who owns it. Her name is Miss Amanda Chastain. And then there's Mr. Gabriel Jayfield. Her voice takes a sudden drop when she mentions Gabriel. Okay, is there a reason you're telling me about them? Do you know them? Michaela picks up her bike and turns toward the front door. I have to go now. I'll be back again when the store opens. If you need help, I'm a hard worker, and I know everything about this place. I'm fine with minimum wage. You've ever heard of child labor laws? You say and hold the door open for her. You don't need to be sarcastic. I'm offering my help. She rolls the bike outside and stops just past the threshold. You haven't been here for long, so here's a piece of advice. Don't trust anyone in this town. Everyone has a motive. Can I trust you then? Michaela smiles. I'm the least of your worries and your only real friend. Have a blessed night. Real friend. Her words bring up images of Adam and Salem. So here's the kind... Okay, I'll wait until I get to the end of this page. She rides away, the bike wobbly as it starts, leaving you watching her from the edges of the store. It's then that you realize the scent of raw garlic wafting away as she rides. At the corner, she picks up speed and merges into traffic, only a few cars away. A few light drops of rain begin to fall, and the thickness hangs in the air. Gray clouds move low across the sky. It's so humid, you struggle to breathe. Returning to the store, you lock the door and feel a sudden need to flip the deadbolt and pull the shades closed. The hairs on your arms stand. You sit on the cool tile floor with your back to the wall, remaining there until you feel a sense of calmness. Alright, so here's the vibe that I'm getting from this, guys. So, I'm getting a Lost Boys vibe, kind of a combination of Lost Boys and Salem's Lot, because they talk about the folks that live in the house now, so those are probably vampires or something similar. Michaela, who we just met, has has a Frog Brother vibe, and from Lost Boys, and our grandpa is reminding me of the grandpa of the Lost Boys as well. Like maybe he was the resident supernatural hunter. You know, the thing about Santa Carla, he couldn't stand were all the damn vampires. So maybe that explains the arsenal and all the supernatural stuff that he had. Definitely becoming a little bit more clear, but at the same time, other stuff is becoming more foggy, and that's a sign of a good mystery. And it looks like in Chapter 3, everyone loves a dinner party. So I guess we'll get to meet more of the town's players, and we will do that in the next stream, guys. Hope you all have enjoyed it. Hopefully we made the right call regarding everything that we could do with the store, and if Night Road is any indication, we'll have more opportunities to like improve the shop as time goes on. But if you guys like the episode, or if you guys haven't followed the Twitch channel, please do so. I try and stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays with random times in between. And if you're watching the replay of this on YouTube, I have a link to the Twitch channel in the description below, as well as a link to my Extra Life page where I'm raising money for my local children's hospital via the awesome Extra Life charity. So check out those links if you feel so inclined. Like, share, subscribe. You guys know the drill there. And we will see you in the next one. Later days, everyone.